guys, Mike Toy, Bonsai Boise. This is an intro to my Seiju or Seiju Chinese elm, aka I've heard it called a lace bark elm or Seiju dwarf elm, which I think is funny because it's actually ends up having a cork bark as it matures. But it's a cool little tree. The leaves are so tiny on this thing that I couldn't resist getting it. But the one that I picked just has lots of problems, which you're going to see here shortly. So I purchased this tree sometime around, I believe it was May of 2021. And this is what it looked like. You can see how small the leaves are there. Very small, very green, very glossy. This is the pot that it came in, just a typical nursery training pot. It was really hard, I remember that. So I didn't want to get crazy with it and put it in a bonsai pot yet. What I really want to do is just get it out of this soil, put it in some better soil. And I decided to put it in a bigger pot just to give it room to spread its wings and grow. And I also decided to go a little heavier on the organics for the soil mix, which turns out was a mistake, which you'll also see here shortly. So I gave it a little trim. I didn't record that part. I just sort of trimmed it up a little bit and took it out of that soil, shook it off, put it in new soil. So here it is after the trim. The more I hacked away at the branches, the more I realized that they were just, I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, honestly. I had to stop at some point. There's still lots of flaws, structurally speaking, but I didn't want to get too wild with the trimming yet, so I eventually just had to stop and, okay, let's give it a chance to recover. So again, this is sometime in May, I want to say late May, maybe even early June by the time I got around to repotting it. So I used my normal bonsai soil mix, but with, I would say, an extra, maybe half of it being just organic. After a few months, this is in October-ish, early October-ish. As you can see, it's not doing well. It's turning out to be the world's ugliest little bonsai tree. It didn't really put on much new growth. I think at one point it grew a little, and then it just stopped growing and started shedding its leaves. Maybe because, just the time of year. I brought it inside, kept it by the window for a little bit, and then put it under some grow lights, but nothing really seemed to work. It just was kind of slowly dying away. So I suspected it was the soil. I have read that these particular kinds of elms are more susceptible to root rot than other types of elms. But I'd also say that of all the elm species out there, this is hard to get accurate information on. There's a lot of conflicting info out there. But I did find that one positive characteristic it has over other elms is that it is resistant to Dutch elm disease. So I got it out of that organic soil. That was an experiment gone bad. And this is what the roots look like. Because the tree wasn't ugly enough, I decided to leave the ugly roots the way they were. Because it's already sick. I didn't want to take away anything from its health or its ability to get healthy again. So I used regular bonsai soil this time. Still put a little organics in because I always do. But much lighter, much lighter. So here it is, got it all potted up in its new soil. I'm going to trim some of the dead ends off of these branches. it was hard for me to find reliable information on how cold hardy this tree is. A lot of sites said it was very hardy down to -10 degrees. Most said it was hardy down to about 40, which was my guess as well. So here it is after I trimmed all the dead ends off. The plan now was to keep it in the greenhouse, because I am going to go with the theory that it's hardy down to 40 degrees. So I'm not going to leave it outside over the winter. I'm going to put it in my indoor greenhouse, some good grow lights, some good humidity, and just hope for the best. I mean, look at the reverse taper on this trunk. It is so bad. It is so bad. It's like the guy who skips leg day at the gym. I think it's got potential, and I think the tree species itself is fantastic. Just this particular tree has just got a long way to go before it's even remotely respectable. I mean, look at the reverse taper on that. It's almost like you could just turn it upside down and it would look better. But I won't get that drastic yet. We'll see. So I'm gonna get it watered, put it in the greenhouse, and then we'll come back and check on it here in about a month. This being early October-ish time frame in this shot. So here it is. I'm pulling it out of the greenhouse. This is more early November, so about a month later. And as you can probably start to see, it is bouncing back. So all hope is not lost. It's popping out little buds everywhere, bright green buds. It's a good sign. So I'm thinking the soil was the culprit after all. So I'm encouraged by the new growth. I put it back in the greenhouse, and then around Thanksgiving I pull it out again to see how it's doing. And there it is. So it continues to do well. New buds popping out. Some of the buds are turning into leaves now. And some of the shoots are actually starting to extend out. So yeah, that's the intro to the world's ugliest little pre-bonsai tree. Note to self and note to anyone else out there who's got one of these and is new at it, the way I was new at this species. They don't like heavy organics. I mean, it still drained well. I'm not saying it wasn't draining. I'm just saying it held on to too much moisture, I think was the problem. So anyways, that's it. Hope you like my ugly little bonsai tree. Please click like and subscribe if so, and have a good rest of your day.